Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're venturing into a really interesting digital space.
Oh, yeah. What do you
It's
got?
a Korean online community, seems laser focused on AI startups, and importantly, how to market AI services.
Okay, AI startups and marketing in Korea. Sounds specific. Where's the source material from?
It's directly from the community itself, looks like forum posts, bulletin board entries, that kind of thing. It's hosted on Never Cafe.
Ah, Naver Cafe. Big platform in Korea.
Exactly. And the name is pretty straightforward. AI startup community, AI, or how, it's basically AI startup community, AI service marketing, Naver Cafe.
No ambiguity there.
Right. So our mission really is to figure out what this online hub can tell us about the pulse of AI innovation and, entrepreneurship in Korea today.
Yeah, I think by looking at how it's structured, what people are actually talking about, the resources they share, we should get some real insights. Insights into that Korean AI startup scene and the marketing strategies they're using.
Okay, let's unpack this then. So the platform is Never Cafe, as you said, huge in South Korea. These cafes are basically online communities for, well, anything really. Shared interests, professional groups.
And this one is explicitly for AI startup community and AI service marketing. It's written right there in the name.
It really signals who it's for and what the main topics are straight off the bat.
It does, sets the purpose clearly. This is for people building AI services and figuring out how to sell them, specifically in that Korean context.
And it looks like they want more people involved. There's a welcome message up top, seems pretty standard, for anyone interested in AI startups and services,
Makes sense.
with clear instructions on joining just a button click if you've got a Naver account.
Easy enough.
But interestingly, they also say, even if you don't have an account, you can still browse the content.
Oh, that's quite smart, like a preview.
Yeah, lets people see the value before committing, right?
Yeah.
Lowers the barrier.
Exactly. Good community building tactic. If you're already on Naver, sounds seamless.
Okay, now here's where it gets quite interesting, I think. A bit about the cafe's background.
Okay.
It was set up way back on January 27th, 2018.
2018, wow, that's quite a while ago in AI terms.
It is 6 years plus, founded by someone or something called Operating Cafe. That longevity suggests it's been a pretty stable resource.
Definitely. It must have seen a lot of changes in the AI landscape since then.
And get this, it lists over 3,000 posts. And apparently 0 unanswered questions.
0. That's impressive. Points to a really active, maybe quite supportive group.
High engagement for sure. And a culture where people actually get answers. Shared problem solving, maybe?
Sounds like it. That's valuable in any community, especially a technical or business-focused one.
So looking at the main sections, you've got the usual announcements, standard stuff. But then there's study. That immediately caught my eye. Suggests learning, collaboration.
Yes, study is a key word there. It implies people aren't just there to network or promote, but actively learn.
And there's also cafe application, which, maybe different membership levels or perhaps applying to join specific groups. It's not totally clear.
Could be. But that study section really stands out, doesn't it? Suggests a big motivation for joining is skill development.
Which is huge in AI, right? Things change so fast.
Absolutely. Constant learning is almost a requirement. So having a dedicated space for that makes a lot of sense.
Totally. And the activity highlights section backs this up. There's cafe writing, so members are creating content.
Active participation.
The total post count mentioned elsewhere is over 5,500. So the 3,000 plus might be in specific sections, maybe. The total is higher.
Okay. Still a lot of activity over the years.
They even have an attendance check.
Ah, yeah, that's quite common in Korean online communities, isn't it? Gamification to encourage daily logins.
Right. And a cafe ranking system, too. Probably based on activity levels, contributions.
Again, typical features to boost engagement, keep people coming back, contributing good stuff maybe, fosters that sense of community.
Definitely feels like they've put thought into keeping it lively.
Okay, so let's get into the meat of it, the categories.
Yeah.
What are people actually talking about? What's under marketing?
Right. The marketing section, it's really broken down. You've got promotion partnership, advertisement promotion community, and then very specifically, AI startup promotion.
So a heavy focus on getting the word out makes sense.
It's clear that's a major theme, isn't it? How do we actually get people to notice and use our AI?
Entirely understandable. You can have the best AI ever, but if no one knows about it, well.
Exactly. So having dedicated spaces for promotion, partnerships, community building, it shows they're tackling those hurdles head on.
It suggests a pretty structured approach within the community itself to these marketing challenges.
And it goes deeper. There are sections for startup, IR investment, attraction fundraising.
The money side, crucial. IR meaning investor relations.
Yeah, investor relations, how startups talk to potential investors, and also government support programs and information sharing.
That's very practical. Tapping into government resources and funding schemes.
It really highlights the real-world needs, doesn't it? Capital, navigating bureaucracy.
Absolutely. And what else?
There's also a freelancer market. That's interesting.
Yeah. What do you make of that?
Maybe startups looking for short-term expertise, AI skills, marketing help, or maybe freelancers advertising their services to the startups.
Could be both. A sort of internal talent marketplace.
Yeah.
Shows the ecosystem aspect connecting needs with skills.
So it's not just about the core startup team, but the wider network they might need.
Exactly. It shows the community supports more than just, the founders. It supports the operational side too.
Okay, shifting focus to the AI service categories. What's there?
Right. This tells us about the tech they're dealing with.
We see AI service development, which is fundamental. Then AI service outsourcing.
So build versus buy, or maybe augmenting teams.
And then spaces for promoting different types of services. Solution platform size, VR, metaverse service promotion.
Covering a few bases there. SaaS, platforms, and VR metaverse. Interesting. Still a focus area, it seems.
And very current, a category for LLM service, technology, AI chatbot inquiry, LLMs, large language models.
Can't avoid those right now, can you? That's definitely top of mind. Shows they're engaged with the absolute latest stuff.
It really gives a snapshot of the tech landscape they're working in. Development, outsourcing, promoting different models, and keeping up with things like LLMs and chatbots.
Yeah, it's a dynamic mix, foundation to cutting edge.
And it drills down even more into related business functions. Things like advertising AI service.
Using AI for advertising, presumably?
Yeah, and data analyst database. Plus, quite broadly, startup marketing planning sales accounting inquiry.
Wow. Okay. So covering the whole business operation almost.
Yeah.
Not just the tech or the top-level marketing.
It seems really holistic. They understand you need the tech, the marketing, the sales, the data, people, the accounting, all of it.
And just a straightforward marketing tips section, too.
Yep. Simple and probably very useful. Practical advice.
It emphasizes how interconnected it all is. Building an AI company isn't just about the algorithm.
Definitely not. It's the whole package.
Okay, what about that study section we mentioned earlier? Any more detail there?
Oh yeah, this is where the collaborative feel really comes through. There are general categories like 100 AI tutors and app development.
Vague, but okay.
But the specific study group titles are more revealing. We've got things like AI Startup Service Marketing Study.
Directly relevant.
And multiple groups on marketing trends, both for AI and the metaverse. They mention Let's Study. Trends together.
Metaverse again seems to be a recurring theme. And the together part emphasizes collaboration.
Absolutely. They even list specific group chats associated with these studies, like Group Chat 2969 or Group Chat 2019 suggests real-time discussion.
Kakao Talk groups, probably. Very common in Korea. Makes the learning more interactive.
There's also one for IT development outsourcing service matching. WeBayPete.
Connecting developers or agencies with those needing projects done. Practical matchmaking.
And this one, 111 Onja, which translates roughly to creating one app, one chatbot, one automation tool per person.
Oh, very hands-on. Project-based learning within the community. Build something tangible.
Yeah, seems very focused on practical skill development.
These study groups really paint a picture of active, targeted learning. People aren't just passively consuming info, they're working together on specific topics.
There's even a super niche one. Let's build a promotion cafe for real estate construction startups together.
Wow, okay. Applying AI marketing principles to a very specific traditional industry. That's ambitious.
And another focused on securing and collaborating with open innovation ESG experts.
ESG, environmental, social, governance. That's interesting. Shows an awareness of broader business trends, sustainability, ethics.
Right. Integrating those factors seems to be on the radar, too.
That's quite sophisticated for a startup community forum, suggests a mature outlook.
They also provide direct contact info, a phone number, and a Kakao Talk ID at PhD1, with a direct link for one-on-one chat.
That direct. For the whole community, admin or specific people.
It seems quite prominent. Listed under Dog Inquiry, it feels quite accessible.
That level of direct contact is interesting. Maybe for direct support, quick questions, partnership inquiries. It certainly makes the organizers seem approachable.
Yeah, lowers the barrier to asking for help, maybe. Humanizes it a bit.
Agree. Okay, what else is there? Any other menu items?
Just a couple of standard things under additional menu items, a prompt to use the Never Cafe app for convenience,
Makes sense. Mobile usage is probably high.
and a link to all bulletin boards, basic navigation.
Standard forum stuff. Easy access to everything.
Okay, finally, the recent posts. This gives us a real flavor of what's current, what people are sharing right now.
Right, the real-time pulse. What's jumping out?
Lots of government program announcements, one about AI UX UI training support, another about back-end developer training, explicitly mentioning full stack and AI, both linked to K-Digital basic competency training.
Okay, so government funding and training initiatives are definitely a hot topic. Upskilling seems key.
And posts about using specific tools, like a one-day workshop on ChatGPT utilization content creation, practical tips promised.
Using existing tools effectively. That's very pragmatic, not just building, but leveraging what's out there.
There's also an announcement for R&D funding from the Seoul Business Agency, specifically for the AI field.
Again, funding opportunities. Seems like a core function of the community is sharing that kind of info.
It really does, combining practical tool usage, training opportunities, and funding info. That seems to be the trifecta right now.
What else in recent posts?
Let's see, a post about data voucher support project utilization cases, specifically a success story in manufacturing data analysis.
Sharing case studies, best practices. Useful.
A call for an AI tutor instructor, so maybe members teaching members or looking for external experts.
Could be either. Shows demand for education within the community structure.
Announcements for an XR Metaverse Korea event recruiting companies and setting up buyer meetings.
More metaverse. And connecting startups with potential customers or partners at events.
And a seminar announcement from SSI Korea about integrating lab AI with practical experience to solve real-world problems.
Bridging the gap between research and application. Another important theme.
It's a really diverse mix, isn't it? All under the AI startup umbrella, though.
It really is. It touches on funding, training, tools, specific tech like metaverse, industry connections, bridging research and practice. It's multifaceted.
And they mention recent comments, too, just as another indicator that, yes, people are actively talking and responding.
Good sign of a healthy community, not just posts going into the void.
And just before wrapping up the overview of the site structure, there's the standard cafe login information.
The practical stuff?
Yeah, reminding people to verify their accounts, check IP addresses if they have trouble logging in from different places, password help, just the necessary admin side.
Important for smooth operation, keeping it secure and accessible.
So bringing all this together, this Never Cafe, this AI startup community, AI service marketing space, it really does feel like an insightful window, doesn't it?
It really does. A window into a very specific, very active segment of the Korean AI startup world.
And it's clear it's not just about the tech development. There's this huge emphasis on marketing, on growth, on actually building a business.
Absolutely. The marketing and business support aspects seem just as prominent as the tech talk, if not more so in some sections.
It acts as like a connection point for startups, a resource hub for funding and government info, and a learning space through those study groups.
Yeah, and what makes it particularly interesting, I think, is seeing the current hot topics reflected so clearly.
Like the LLMs.
Exactly. LLMs, the persistent interest in the metaverse, the constant search for government funding and relevant training. These aren't just abstract trends. They're what people in this community are actively discussing and seeking right now.
It feels very grounded in their immediate needs.
And the study groups really highlight that collaborative, practical learning culture, which you absolutely need in a field moving this fast.
It really makes you wonder then, thinking about the structure, the topics, what are the unique challenges, maybe unique advantages for AI startups specifically in Korea versus elsewhere?
That's a great question. Is navigating government support easier or harder? Is the focus on specific applications like metaverse more intense there?
And what role do communities like this actually play? How critical are they in, fostering genuine innovation and growth in such a crazy, fast-moving field?
Definitely food for thought. These online spaces might be more crucial than we sometimes assume.